inviting me and inviting all of us to come and have a conversation on this very, very topical issue. I'm quite impressed with the topic that focuses on promoting social change and empowerment through diversity, equity, and inclusion, the traditional DEI issue. Just like the founder said, when I look at the array of speakers, the keynote speakers and so on, I'm quite pleased that the conversation today will be good, especially relating to what is currently happening in the country regarding River State. As we gather here today, we are reminded that the pursuit of social change is a continuous journey, one that requires a collective effort, commitment, and perseverance. The theme of this colloquium is timely and relevant as we seek to address the present issue of our time, from inequality and bigotry to social injustice and marginalization. I believe that it is mark of good leadership and governance to be able to leverage the transformative power of diversity, equity, and inclusion for social change. As a leader, I have seen how these values can bring people together, foster a sense of belonging, and unlock the full potential of individuals and communities. And that's why today I think I appointed more women into office than any other president. Because the issue of inclusivity is critical. However, I have also seen how the absence of these values can lead to division, inequality, and social unrest. It is therefore a responsibility as leaders and change makers to promote a culture of diversity and inclusion, one that values and respects the dignity and worth of every human being and protects the interests of all of us. We must not forget that societies that embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion are more innovative, resilient, and harmonious. I know this because I saw how policies that promoted gender equality, youth empowerment, and regional balance during my time as president helped bridge divides and foster national unity. I am glad that the Ask Case Tomorrow Foundation is committed to this noble cause, and I commend the foundation's effort towards promoting social change and empowerment through its various initiatives. Today's colloquium is a testament to this commitment, and I'm confident that our discussions and deliberations will yield valuable insights and recommendations in this regard. And I did mention that what is happening in the country, everybody talks about River State on television, and some of these are the issues we discuss. We're talking about building a society where no one is oppressed, as reflected in the top paragraph of our national anthem. As a former president and also from the Niger Delta, when the issue of suspending the governor came up, I think people call on me, oh, President Jonathan, oh, President Obasanjo, you should say something. People expected us to say something about what is happening. And of course, people don't even know that traditionally all over the world, former presidents hardly make statements about what the current presidents are doing because of the tension it could create in the country. In most cases, look at America, look at everywhere. So hardly for former presidents to make sometimes this. And of course, what is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in River State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do. but they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody. And sometimes we do things and we think that it doesn't affect us. I've been a president before, and even after leaving office as a former president, people get to me. Why is that our passport is not valued that much? Why is that Nigerians are not given the kind of treatment we're supposed to receive at the international airports? Sometimes we think it's because of Yahoo boys or 419ers. No, not only them. Yes, they are part of the problem. But whatever happens in a country, decisions that are taken by the executive arm of government, decisions that are taken by the parliament, judicial decisions affect everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised, where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that economy because we are taking a big risk. So whatever we do affects everybody. And if we must build a nation for our children and our grandchildren, no matter how painful it is, we must strive to do what is right. It may cost us, but we must endeavor and pay the price to insist on doing what is right. Whether you are holding an executive office as a president, a minister, or a governor, or a special advisor, or executive, whether you are holding an office in the parliament, senate, or rep, whether you're a judicial officer at the high courts or appellate courts, we must strive to do what is right. If we want to build a nation that our children will be proud of. As we engage in these discussions, let us remember that promoting social change is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It requires a sustained commitment, collective action, and unwavering dedication to the values that promote good governance. Let us also recognize that social change is a shared responsibility, one that requires the active participation and engagement of all stakeholders, including civil society, the private sector, and governments. In conclusion, I want to again express my gratitude to the Haskell Satumari Foundation for convening this colloquium and appreciate all of you, especially a sister who came all the way from Kenya, as she has been introduced. If you are ticking the boxes for people that are supposed to be here, she filled all the gaps. Thank you for coming. And thank you from what you told me yesterday, said that Nigeria is the first West African country you have visited. So you are welcome. And I hope you will enjoy Abuja, and we'll listen to you and we'll listen to all others. So I thank you very much.
Let's keep clapping for the man who continues to be a distinguished statesman, a Democrat, and global advocate for peace and good governance. Thank you very much, sir. Of course, just to tell you that you're...
Today, we are sick patients of democracy. And as patients of democracy, we are daily praying, looking up to the heavens for good luck, to get the right diagnosis for our economic pathway through right leadership that will restore our country to the true path of democracy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies. It's about, since 2015 till now, if President Goodluck Jonathan will still be celebrated and his quotes will be compiled for us to read and encourage us, it shows that as a leader, if you were a leader that upheld the tenacity of governance, you will always be celebrated. So my advice to leaders in office is that let's uphold the tenacity of governance. Let's do what will make us to be celebrated even after office. 10 years down the line, and his name still resonates. There are people that they will leave office after 1 year, nobody can even still remember their names. So it's better to do something good and to leave a good name than to leave with silver and gold. What they did was unconstitutional. Well, I don't know what I'm not in the House now, so I don't know what the rule book says, but as a parliamentarian, I will always stand with what the Constitution says. So if what happened was not constitutional, absolutely I stand by that. I stand with what the Constitution says, but like I said, I don't know what the rule book says now on the floor of the House. But the Constitution is what guides us as a people, which is very key. So, guiding you in the House, there are two important books: the rule books in the House and the Constitution. So, what the Constitution says is very important. And if they were guided by the rule books, I don't know. If they are not guided by the rule books, I don't know. But I stand with the Constitution.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not gender biased. When you look at section 36 to 42 of the Constitution, it talks about the fundamental rights of every Nigerian irrespective of gender. But it comes, when it comes to politics, that is where we're having issues, where the inclusiveness of gender is always a problem. But the thing, I'm one person that strongly believes that a person born as a Nigerian shouldn't have any issue of injustice or inequality in terms of political activities, because we're all equal before the eye of our Constitution, and because the Constitution has given us that right, then there shouldn't be any discrimination. But again, political will should be one thing that's supposed to be played on. If you looked at the present the former president of Nigeria, which is Jonathan Goodluck, doctor. During his term, I think he gave us almost about 33% of the women in his administration where they stand as ministers. And the performance index is there for ones to see. But after that, we thought that probably it will have been better. But I think it started again with Olusegun Obasanjo, our former president, where based on the constitutions that every state should have a representation in the Federal Executive Council. Unfortunately, the 36 that came in were all male, and he now has to come out with a regional representation where he brought in about 6 female to make up, to have a human face to that extent. But I think if you looked at it, it's probably the political will that those that are saddled with the responsibility of good governance should come. When you talk about injustice, why do you segregate gender when the Constitution of Nigeria said there should not be any gender discrepancy? So the thing is that from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top, from the family, from the religious angle, from our government, there must be a political will where women will be given the chance to exert their own contribution to national building. If you now said, as a woman, I don't have a right. And even if you looked at it on inheritance law, it has now been concluded that a woman has every right to an inheritance of either her husband or her father, which obviously the religious angle or the cultural angle of other segment of Nigeria do not accept that. But now it has been ruled by the Supreme Court that a woman has a right to either her parent, her father's, or her husband's inheritance. So all what we're saying is a political will. We are not there to fight the men. We're there to be in support or in hand to see how we can build a nation where all and sundry will be accepted irrespective of our gender.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion has become a global conversation about social change. And you look in our societies today, you see, based on the presentations that are made by our eloquent keynote speakers, you saw how diversity, inclusion, and equity is very critical in development. You see, she did mention about 10% of our GDP are affected by lack of inclusion. And if you look at our society, you will find out that everybody feels one form of marginalization or the other. So we organized this colloquium to amplify the voices of those people who feel marginalized, that financial inclusion and all sorts of marginalization could be addressed to create enough awareness to this particular issue of DEI. So that is why Haske Satumari Foundation also dealing with different types of people, people with disability, people that feel marginalized, either gender inequality and all those issues that are very prevalent in our society, is for us to arouse the consciousness of the people to see that we all deserve to be treated equally. Our agitation for equity is not to give people the benefit to feel that they are entitled, but we want people that deserve to be heard, deserve to be included in the processes to be included, so that we have a fair, equitable, and just society.
Thank you very much.